Hi there, welcome to a bit of this and that. Today's video is very different. I've never done anything like this before, and the idea for this really only occurred to me last night after our family had had supper. And we're in the kitchen here, obviously, as you can see, in front of part of my countertop, and on the top of the counter here I have some leftovers from our supper last night and a few of the ingredients that were used for that meal. And basically the only thought I had was within the Reborn community there's somewhat of an established network already existing, because we like to watch each other's videos that are Reborn related. This one is not Reborn related, but I thought I would do it anyway. The name of my channel, after all, is a bit of this and that, so it kind of can be anything, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I don't know about you guys, but it's very easy to get stuck in a rut when it comes to food preparation. For any of you ladies who you know, need to be thinking about menu planning and preparing food and meals, even if it's just for yourself or just for two people or for a family or what have you. You know, it's sometimes refreshing to find out about something that somebody else does and you're like, oh, that sounds really yummy, I want to try that. So, you know, there's different things that people can do, of course, with regard to that. You know, you can do meal swaps where you spend the whole day in the kitchen and you prepare a ton of food, various meals, and then you swap with different families, and then in return they swap with you, so you can kind of like stockpile maybe a week's worth of food or what have you. Or you can do recipe exchanges. Of course, we have the internet these days, which is an awesome resource. But anyway, I just thought maybe this would be kind of a fun, different video, a way to just show a meal that I did last night. And I guess call it a tag, because I don't really know what else or how else to describe it. So I'm thinking I'm going to call it like what's for supper tag. If anybody sees this and wants to join in and do a little video themselves to showcase or share, tell about a favorite meal that you have, so that when we watch your video we can see and hear about it and be like, oh yeah, that's cool, I might want to try that. So basically just a way to share different meals and possibly learn some new techniques. And it doesn't, you don't have to do it like I'm doing it here. It could even just be like a 2-minute clip. You're just holding a recipe up and just, you know, this is recipe, guys, this is all you have to do, and boom, you know, you're done. I just decided to do it this way. Ideally, maybe I would have done it had I thought about it beforehand when I was making it from scratch, but I am going to just show you here what I have by the way of leftovers, and then I will put it together on the plate and show you what the meal looked like in all its glory. No, it's very simple. I am not a fancy cook at all. I love to eat, but I don't really love to cook, to prepare. And even grocery shopping, it's stressful, and having to think up things and what have you. So like I was saying at the beginning, I find myself often just stuck in a rut. So I find it interesting to see what other people do. So having said all of that, basically this meal that we had was chicken, potatoes, and green beans. So the chicken here I have leftover. It's just 2 chicken thighs. It doesn't maybe look the greatest because it has come out of the fridge, but of course that will look better once it's been reheated. I just took a 13x9 glass Pyrex dish and filled it with chicken thighs. Your preference, whether you want them boneless or skinless, or if maybe you want to use chicken legs, but these here do have skin and they have bones, so whatever. I just put them all in the pan, and then I had a bottle of, this is Diana sauce, it's called. Gourmet ribbon chicken is the flavor, and basically it's just a barbecue sauce, flavored barbecue sauce. One of these bottles, I just poured it across the top of the chicken thighs, and that was it. Covered it with tin foil and put it into the oven on 350 for an hour and 15 minutes. Probably an hour would suffice, but I added on a little bit of time because they were still slightly frozen. So to accompany that, very simply, I just boiled potatoes. Nothing too fancy. Just peel your potatoes, cut them, boil them. And then what makes them yummy, though, because I'm all about yumminess, we have grated cheddar cheese, and there is sour cream and green onion or chives that you can put on. Basically whatever you like to put on a baked potato, essentially. And butter too. So I just mashed that on the plate and topped it with those yummy things, and there you go, you got your potato. And then last but not least, I just had a bag of frozen green beans, boiled them up, and that was the veg to go with the meal. So very simple, but very tasty. The whole family was raving about it, so I was glad. This is a keeper. I will be doing this again for sure. I have done it in the past, but it was like a long time ago. So recently I've been racking my brain to think about, things to make. It's like, oh yeah, that was a pretty easy, good meal. I should try making that again. And that's the other thing for me. It has to be simple and easy. If I'm looking up a recipe and there's like 50 million different ingredients, I'm not going to use it. Like, I love using the crock pot, but if you have like a whole slew of ingredients, I won't tend to use them. I like very simple, half a dozen ingredient, easy, because I'm lazy, to be perfectly honest. But anyway, I'm going to put together a plate because it is lunchtime, and these leftovers here, some of them anyway, are going to be my lunch. So I will be back in a moment to show you what it looks like. Okay, I'm back, and the meal is done and ready to go, and guess what? I figured out a way to actually bring a reborn baby into it. So I brought Olivia down, and she's sitting here in the bumbo seat, looking cute as can be, and she has her little Susie Zoo spoon there. Looks like she's ready to tuck in, so I might have to share my lunch. Anyway, this is what the plate looks like. This is what it looked like last night as well. So we have the chicken with the sauce, the green beans, and the boiled potatoes all done up in a really yummy fashion. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up this video there, folks. So if anybody wants to do this, you can. By no means do you have to. And like I say, you don't even have to do it this way. If you just have a recipe you want to share real quick. I will admit I would be curious to find out a little bit more about what y'all like to eat and maybe add a few new recipes to my repertoire. So there you go, guys. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Hope everybody's doing well. This has been a little bit of this and that. Goodbye for now.